Ladies and gentlemen, in astonishing legal developments, Donald Trump's bid to, for some reason, toss out the 9-0 unanimous, ladies and gentlemen, Supreme Court ruling that agreed with Judge Xinis that Donald Trump and his illegal, lawless, unconstitutional administration facilitate and return Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the United States. Why? Well, because they illegally deported him. That's why. Let's find out the reason of why they denied the Supreme Court 9-0 unanimous ruling to to return Kilmar Abrego Garcia. And this reporting, ladies and gentlemen, is by The Hill. Ladies and gentlemen, the article is titled, Appeals Court Won't Lift Order to Facilitate Abrego Garcia's Return in Blistering Opinion.
Appeals Court won't lift order to facilitate Abrego Garcia's return in blistering opinion. By Zach Schoenfeld. The Fourth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals Thursday declined to lift a judge's order that the Trump administration facilitate the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia that admonished the Justice Department. The Justice Department appealed U.S. District Judge Paula Xinis' clarified directive, which she issued last week after the Supreme Court upheld the thrust of her original order, pushing for the man's return. The Fourth Circuit declined to put Xinis' ruling on hold just one day after the administration filed the appeal, a swift order that came without waiting for Abrego Garcia's lawyers to file their response. The relief the government is requesting is both extraordinary and premature. While we fully respect the executive's robust assertion of its Article 2 powers, we shall not micromanage the efforts of a fine district judge attempting to implement the Supreme Court's recent decision. U.S. Circuit Judge Judge Harvie Wilkinson wrote for the unanimous three-judge panel. It marks the second time the Fourth Circuit has rejected the Trump administration in the case. The administration could now attempt to seek emergency relief from the Supreme Court. Abrego Garcia was deported to an El Salvador mega prison roughly a month ago, despite an immigration judge's ruling protecting him from removal there over fears he could face violence. The Trump administration has acknowledged he was mistakenly deported due to an administrative error, but contends the courts are powerless to intervene because the man is no longer in U.S. custody. The case has garnered significant national attention as the administration contends the man is a member of MS-13, an assertion largely based on details provided by an informant in 2019. Abrego Garcia's family denies he has any gang ties. It is difficult in some cases to get to the very heart of the matter, but in this case, it is not hard at all, Wilkinson wrote. The government is asserting a right to stash away residents of this country in foreign prisons without the semblance of due process that is the foundation of our constitutional order, he continued. Further, it claims in essence that because it has rid itself of custody, that there is nothing that can be done. This should be shocking not only to judges, but to the intuitive sense of liberty that Americans far removed from courthouses still hold dear. Wilkinson, an appointee of former President Reagan, was joined on the panel by U.S. Circuit Judge Robert King, an appointee of former President Clinton, and U.S. Circuit Judge Stephanie Thacker, an appointee of former President Obama. The district court is moving ahead by ordering expedited discovery that is set to include depositions and document productions. Xinis, an Obama appointee, is also set to decide whether to hold the Trump administration in contempt.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we end today's video, we have a video update from U.S. Senator from Maryland, Chris Van Hollen. Hollen. Let's figure out this legal breaking update.
Let this innocent man walk out.
Senator Chris Van Hollen was in El Salvador Wednesday to try to free Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The Trump administration mistakenly deported Abrego Garcia last month and claims he's a member of the MS-13 gang.
The Trump administration is lying.
Attorney General Pam Bondi shared documents Wednesday showing law enforcement and a confidential informant had identified Abrego Garcia as a gang member.
Hard stop. He should not be in our country.
Abrego Garcia has denied gang accusations and was never charged with a crime. The White House slammed Van Hollen's visit.
It's appalling and sad that Senator Van Hollen and the Democrats applauding his trip to El Salvador today are incapable of having any shred of common sense.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt defended the deportation despite the Supreme Court ruling the U.S. must facilitate Abrego Garcia's return.
And if he ever ends up back in the United States, he would immediately be deported again.
But efforts to get Abrego Garcia back likely won't end soon, according to Van Hollen.
And there will be more members of Congress coming.
Well, one thing's for sure, Pam Bondi. If you would know, considering you're uneducated on law and everything, you dumb bitch. And you dumb punto and, dunk off. You cannot appeal a United States District Court, Supreme Court ruling. It is unethical and unconstitutional for you to do. But you would not know that because you have no business or experience being in law, you dumb cunt. That is going to do it for today's legal breaking reporting, ladies and gentlemen. If you did enjoy this legal breaking reporting, please make sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe. Secondly, if you want to make sure that you are always in the loop and in the know-how of what the hell is going on between the Trump administration versus the court's judicial review, you can make sure that you hit the bell icon that is right next to the subscribe button below the screen here on the right hand side. And hit the all notifications option so that we are notified of every single breaking news legal reporting and analysis update. You can also make sure that you're always in the know-how and always up to date on the latest news, when in fact when you guys if you guys follow me on my social medias that'll be linked down below, I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, Threads, as well as TikTok. There I will be posting updates on when I have uploaded brand new legal breaking analysis reportings. Fourthly, and last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, or second to last but not least, please help me reach and achieve the overall channel goal of 150 plus subscribers, and then after we reach and achieve the goal of 150 plus subscribers, the reason why I'm saying 150 plus subscribers is because right after we reach and achieve the goal of 150 subscribers, we're one more away from 150 subscribers. We have more subscribers to reach and achieve right after we reach and achieve the goal of 150 subscribers. We have just one more, ladies and gentlemen, one more. And then we are trying to reach 160 subscribers. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, until my next legal breaking analysis news reporting, please stay positive, please stay safe, and know that justice will prevail despite Donald Trump and his illegal administration and lawless administration, illegal, unconstitutional, unethical, lawless, illegal actions and executive orders. Please also continue looking for the points of light in today's legal breaking, dark world, despite what Donald Trump is doing and his illegal administration, folks.